Hi, this is Scott Ware, the publisher and editor of Radiance Magazine and Radiance Multidimensional Media, where you can find the Radiance channel also on the Xpnsion network, where you may even be watching this interview. And who I have today is the doctor and the shaman, and that's how they're known on their podcasts. That'd be Dr. Lee Griffith and Olivia Hart Griffith. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And we see you're on the set of your podcast. How often do you do your podcast?
Once a week, actually, and then we have a meditation we release once a week as well.
Okay, and we were talking a little bit before about those meditations. They're starting to become a little bit famous, more famouser maybe than your podcast. They're quite good. I listened to one. But you also have a Tachyon Center in Sedona, which I myself experienced and had a wonderful experience there. Can you talk about what this special kind of wellness center is that involves tachyon rays and what those are?
Well, a tachyon is a particle that moves faster than the speed of light. So in the world of physics, this is what they're still trying to find in the matter of true physics. So this comes in the world of quantum physics. So it's basically source energy. And when you're in the tachyon chambers, the source energy comes into your body and works on physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, your well-being on any plane of your existence.
Okay, and that's so that source energy. And by the way, I should mention you are a doctor, a medical doctor, and Olivia, you are a shaman, and so you both know from different directions possibly about source energy. That sounds amazing, of course, and I know firsthand it is. What does that mean to you?
So, and the way that I think of tachyon is there's different ways that source energy can come through to us. Tachyon is the fastest version. So it really just fully saturates our physical body and in our energy field and really just is able to shift things very quickly for us. What's interesting is that I always tell people to go in with an intention. And the reason is that if you go into the tachyon chamber, it's like just having it work on every single layer of your being. But if you have a specific intention, this is an intelligent energy, as we know source is, and it directly goes to what you want to work on. So whether that's something you want to manifest or something you want to heal, you can really direct the energy to exactly what that is and get the full experience in that way.
Well, when I went there, and Jody was there to help me out there, I wanted whatever needed to be done to be done. So for my highest and best good, let it be. And I thought I was going to come out energized, but I actually came out a little tired, which told me indeed something happened. It wasn't just a little light napping I was doing in that hour. But I mean, I was like, wow, I felt like I was kind of worked. And can you explain what you think happened with me there? That it felt good, but I was definitely needed to rest a little after that.
Sure. So, and this is kind of the same thing I tell to my clients when they come to work with me. When we go into the space of, transformation and allowing energy to do the work on us, your entire energy body reorchestrates. Like when you're in the tachyon, your chakras clear, it's like basically like having your energy body lifted up and put back down and, silkened and smoothed out. And so when you leave, you're a little bit tired because there's major energy shifts that have occurred while you're in that space. And it's important to, after you have those types of experiences, practice self-care. If you're tired, take a nap. Do whatever
Sure.
your body's asking you to do in that time.
Well, I was in Sedona, so I visited a vortex, and I was even more tired after that. So I don't know. But
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, overall, I know a lot was being released, and it felt amazing. And I know a lot of people are coming from Southern California to the Tachyon Wellness Center as the destination. Is that your experience?
Absolutely. We have a lot of people that regularly come from Southern California and Northern California to the Tachyon Center. And actually, we sell more of our Tachyon illumination rods to the state of California, people in the state of California, than anywhere else in the world.
Now, are these tachyon rods that you can hold in each hand, are they going to have the same benefits as is on your website here? Are they going to promote pain relief, um, aid in addiction recovery, elevate and intensify all healing work, and more? Same thing?
Absolutely, but it's a different level. So when you're going into a tachyon chamber, that's the maximum concentration of tachyon energy. It's in everything from the mats that are below you, above you, the pyramid that hangs above you, down to the particles in the paint on the wall. Like there's multiple layers of just pure tachyon energy on the walls. So you're going into the maximum tachyon field, where we call the rods kind of like having your own mini chamber, because
Hmm.
you can really go into this deep meditative state the same
Hmm.
way that you can in a chamber at home using the tachyon rods. But the experience is not going to be as
As
mind
intense.
blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
less intense, but still very powerful. Like
Yes.
I carry them everywhere, day and night, in my pockets, and then when I come home, I sleep with them under our bed or under our pillow. So we have them with us all the time. So it's
Wow.
it's kind of like a little protective force field of energy around you at all times.
Source energy, no less.
Correct.
Yes.
Right. And I see some other benefits are restore chakras and meridian points to perfect balance, helps to clear mental, emotional, and spiritual fields, accelerates spiritual development. What kinds of things along those lines have you heard from some of the people who have visited the chamber?
So when people either visit the chamber, they start working with the rods on a daily basis, it starts to enhance and open their spiritual and psychic gifts. So people who have never had visions of things before start to have visions during meditations. They start to have more profound, vivid dreams.
Hmm.
That are, sending them a message. They start to have more clairvoyance. It really helps to raise your vibration and open up those natural gifts that we all have, that it's just a matter of time before we're able to open.
I also see helps in weight loss efforts. That would cause a lot of people to order those rods.
So we have a funny story about that. Lee, why don't you
Uh,
tell,
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
that?
one of the experiments I did on myself was before we actually owned this business. We were visiting another tachyon center, and without Olivia's awareness, because I didn't want her to bias what happened, my intention of going into the center and into the chamber that day was weight loss. And I
hmm.
wanted to see if I set that intention, what would happen down the road. And I lost about 10 or 12 pounds within maybe a month or a month and a half without changing anything else. And I didn't want Olivia to know that. So
Ah,
she wouldn't be trying to change what we were eating or what we were doing physically.
okay. Would you like to reveal any secret intentions you're doing this month, Lee?
Oh, this month. Well, our main intention is just to continue to grow and expand our Tachyon Wellness Center as well as the rods worldwide. We want to share this amazing technology with as many people around the world as we can.
Okay, and people can go to tachyonwellnesssedona.com for that, correct?
Yes, they can go there.
Okay. Now, where can they go to hear or watch your podcast?
So our podcast is on YouTube. If you wanted to watch it, it's The Doctor and the Shaman on YouTube, and then our meditations are on Tachyon Wellness on YouTube. So you can check those both out there, or you can subscribe on Apple Podcast, Roku, Spotify. We're on all of the major podcast networks.
Well, in the last few of the podcast episodes I checked out, you were definitely doing things more along the shamanic route. You were talking about spirit animals. There was some drumming. If it's called the Doctor and the Shaman, are you also sort of coming from the Western side at times? Is it a mixture of both?
Yes, it is. And, interestingly enough, we've kind of listened to what people have wanted, and it has been
Hmm.
more along the lines of the spiritual aspect of it. But
Sure.
what's really unique is Lee really offers a grounded left brain explanation and understanding of what's occurring and what that is. And there's been times on the podcast where we didn't 100% agree on something, because we do come from these two different backgrounds.
Right. Lee, can you remember something recently where you were able to break something down with that side of the brain in a way that could sway some people who maybe are on the spiritual path, but certain parts of it sound a little woo-woo for them? Do you remember something recently that you sort of broke down that was helpful in that regard?
Oh, absolutely. Every day in my practice,
Hmm.
one of the real common problems that I have as a pain doctor is what's called like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where
Okay.
if someone comes in and tells me nothing has ever worked and whatever you do won't work,
Mm-hmm.
I always answer them. And before I even knew anything about shamanic practicing or practitioners, I always would tell them, well, why did you waste your time coming here? Because if you don't believe that you're going to get better, your mind and your spirit will never let your body get better. So
Right.
now you can move that to a different level of discussion with really energetically your spirit and your mind controls everything, including even your sense of pain and your other emotions.
How do you get them to that step?
With patients in Western medicine, it's baby steps. It's
Yeah.
because at first, if you go, well, your mind and spirit's controlling everything, their response is, well, you think I'm crazy. There's nothing wrong with me. You're saying there's nothing wrong with my body, and that's not what I'm saying. So you have to slowly adjust them and change their thinking slowly with little tiny kind of hints, meaning, well, if you say you're never going to get better, your parents and your grandparents have probably said, self-fulfilling prophecy, and they know what that means. And so you use
Right.
that metaphor to start the conversation.
So just that level of conversation is further than most medical doctors would go. They don't have time even if they wanted to, perhaps. And you're going further. So it sounds like what I know is you're a holistic healer, because holistic being whole, body, mind, and spirit, you're going further. I wonder if it's just people just experiencing you as a practitioner, spending that time with them, caring about them, could probably throws them a little off guard, maybe lowers their guard or startles them. Is that the case? You able to spend more time with the clients or patients that come in?
Yeah, you have to. I always tell people the easiest thing I could do is write a prescription for you. And that would be a 30-second conversation. Take this pill 3 times a day. I hope your pain gets better. See me next month. And that patient would see me every month for the rest of their life.
Yes.
The more in-depth conversation of improving yourself so they don't see me. I always tell my patients, I want to see you a few times, but I don't want to see you every month. I want to see you a few times, make you better, help you improve yourself. And then you see me when you need a tune up once or twice, a year, or maybe once or twice every 5 years, but not relying on me or a medication or anything else to do the heavy lifting.
Isn't it about, Olivia, activating their inner healer and letting them know they have that?
Absolutely. And that's what I'm always talking about. The age of the guru is over. It's all about looking within and connecting with yourself and seeing what is there. And even, I teach shamanic students as well. And even with them, they come to me and they ask me a question. I said, what does the inside of you say? What is your inner guide telling you? And I always really push people to go within. And, it's interesting because I always say that one of the biggest jobs of a shaman is to help someone shift their perception and their perspective on things. Because once we can shift that, we can really help them change their lives. Because with perspective and perception, everything changes. And Lee does the same thing with his patients. So essentially, we're doing the same thing in different ways with,
Yeah.
our clients and patients.
That is an amazing journey, helping someone get to the point where they understand they're much more in control than they thought. In fact, they're in, you might say, total control, activating the inner healer. That doctors aren't, when they put a Band-Aid on you, the Band-Aid's not healing you. It's helping promote the skin, your body to heal itself. And that's, a lot of people, they just want to trust the white coat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I always tell people my job is to make you feel better so your body can heal itself. That our bodies have an amazing amount of healing properties. If not, we would be dead in a month because all of our cells turn over every month anyways.
Right.
So, if you use that logic that my liver turns over every 30 days, then why can't other parts of our body and other cells repair themselves and turn over and heal themselves as well.
It's amazing. I mean, you talked about with these rods, you even go to sleep with them, you put them under your pillow. I mean, you're not just selling something to sell it. I mean, you really believe in this, and this is your mission. You want to have the world have these rods. I'll get me some. I was holding them while I was in the Tachyon chamber as well, and I felt afterwards like I'd had a Reiki session. Okay, so it wasn't just after you've had a nap, and it felt amazing. Again, I did think I was going to be energized, and I wasn't. I was a little disappointed, but I also know that what had to be done was done. What had to be released was released, and it was for my best and highest good. So I definitely recommend people stop in to see you. What else should they know, or what kind of condition can people be in and search you out there in Sedona?
Really, truly anything, because the root of all disease and all illness starts in the spiritual. And if we can heal what's going on in the spiritual, then that trickles down and informs the soul, which trickles down and informs the mind, which trickles down and informs the body. So if we work there, you can heal anything while working at the spiritual.
And you're detoxing essentially, right? Just and that's why you encourage people to drink a lot of water after they have a Tachyon experience.
Absolutely. People can go through a physical detox after a session. You can also go through an emotional detox where, emotions and things that need to be released come up. It just depends on truly what the person needs and what their intention is and they're asking for. And, another trick for your next session, if you want to leave feeling energized, is to ask the Tachyon to energize you and see what the difference is. Because
Okay.
if you do have that intention, if I'm feeling a little low on energy, we have a Tachyon chamber in our house, and I'll go in the Tachyon chamber and I'll ask to be energized and renewed and ready to face, the rest of the day. And I come out just, feeling like $1,000,000.
And you guys are right there on the main drag there on 89A in West Sedona.
Yes.
Very easy to find, and people can make appointments by calling 928-451-6304, or they can just go to the website and schedule right there at tachyonwellnesssedona.com for a 30, 60, or 90-minute session.
Absolutely.
Okay. And your free meditations that you're doing right now that you say have gotten a lot of acclaim, people can find those where?
They can go to YouTube and find those on the YouTube channel Tachyon Wellness, which is Tachyon. And they can find those there, or they can go to any of our podcast channels on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Roku, which you'd find under the Doctor and the Shaman. We release one of those every week as well on there.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for offering this to everyone. People can get the rods on your website and listen to your meditations and watch your podcast. I mean, thank you for what you're doing for the world. It's really amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you for what you're doing for the world.
Absolutely.
And thank you. And you can find Tachyon Wellness Sedona in Radiance Magazine as well, at 660 locations in Southern California at radiancemagazine.org. Thank you all for watching.